Okay, hopefully this comes through as clear onto your side as it does for mine. This is like my third time having to record this because I have been messing up. Not even me messing up, it's just the whole entire system messing up. Okay, so you're on the title slide slash whole entire presentation. So for the past few months, I have been sort of altering between what I want to have as a career and my major that I want to study for after I leave COD. And what was originally on my mind was sound production. It's basically just producing music, making it sound good. But the one that I've been comparing it against is biology teacher education. And both these are majors that I can get over at Illinois State, that I can have for my career. And the reason that I decided to choose biology teacher education for the career I'm going to be studying is because when I was back in high school, biology was overall one of my favorite classes to take. It was the most natural science class that came to me. I was confident with all the answers I had in that class, and overall it was a fun time. So hit the space bar, and then you're going to be on education background. Now, being a biology teacher, you, of course, would need to have background in biology and having a college degree. I think associates is like the minimum that some schools would accept, but typically you're going to be needing more of bachelor, master's, doctorate, etc., for the degrees for you to get a job as a biology teacher, depending on where you want to go. But for me, I want to teach at a high school level. So if you hit the spacebar again, minimum requirements for teaching at a high school level would just have to be a bachelor of science degree, which in this case, it would be in biology, and an emphasis on education. And the reason that's an emphasis on education is because many schools, they would be able to see that someone has a bachelor of science, or if they're a math teacher, it would be a bachelor of math. No, I think that would also be a bachelor of science. Either way, the reason that schools want to have the emphasis on education is so they know that the person who is applying for that job knows what to do in these situations where a student would confront them with a question, or where they just know how to do anything that would come at them, prepare daily lessons, and know how to do anything or everything that would come at them in the classroom. Hit the space bar again, my bad. Of course, additional degrees, I could go for a master's degree later on down the line and earn more money, or a PhD. Most likely the PhD isn't in my future because, knowing me, I don't like putting that much work into something that's just going to give me maybe a few extra $1,000. That's kind of a waste in my opinion. But hey, that's just me. Hit the spacebar again, and then you're back up to the original slide. Hit it one more time, and then you're back to what can I do with this major? And as you can see, there's a picture of a man who's thinking about what he can do with the major. Now, obviously, many schools require biology teachers. It's kind of a given. Many high schools teach chemistry, biology, physics, any sort of science class within the STEM nature. And many schools, K through 12, need them. Of course, it becomes more of a subject matter when you get into middle school and high school, because for primary education, it's just all these kindergarten through fifth teachers teaching them everything that they need to know rather than just a certain subject. I can also apply for jobs over at professional medical schools like Loyola, University of Chicago Hospital, etc., and of course colleges and universities like COD, Illinois State. I think it's typically only anywhere in Illinois for the teaching degree. I could be wrong, but that's just the degree that you'd have to go for. And then, of course, the photo. I like to imply a tiny bit of humor into my speeches, or even my, in this case, English presentations. It's a class of 7th graders dissecting a horse, and that was found on theonion.com. So just for a little bit of your humor, Eric, hit the spacebar again. Surprisingly, though, I did find out on Illinois State's website that I could apply for jobs at museums, zoos, or nature centers and parks. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not entirely sure how a biologist can find any sort of career in a museum rather than maybe someone who does some DNA samples. But hey, I'm just not looking too far into that specific course of a career, since that's not what I want to go into. Just giving you some fun facts. Hit the space bar again, and you're back at the beginning. Hit it again. Is it an in-demand job? Now, as a lot of people would say, that teachers, you've got too many of them. Well, in this case for high school, middle school, elementary school, people would say that there's too many teachers or too many kids who want to be teachers. The answer, though, is that surprisingly, yeah, it is an in-demand job because it's within the STEM nature, of course, science, technology, engineering, and math. And as this quote from teach.com says, science, technology, engineering, and math, STEM, education is a great example of an area where there's a high demand for great teachers. I think the main reason as to why there's a high demand for them is because when a lot of kids are in these biology classes or chemistry classes, etc., they don't want to exactly go for a career in education. They want to have more of a career of those people who find cancer or find any sort of like new fat cells or anything that has to do with the body or chemical nature. And a lot of people don't really focus on teaching kids about that. So that's the reason that a lot of STEM jobs are in demand nowadays. Hit the spacebar again, back to the beginning, hit it again, benefits. Now, there are typically 3 benefits that come to being a teacher. Sorry about that. In Illinois, of course, you have the insurance, typical dental, vision, and health insurance that many school districts or university colleges offer to the teachers. Of course, there's dental insurance, vision insurance, health insurance. The reason I have State Farm in the corner is because that's just the insurance company that I'd want to roll with for car insurance. So, yep. Next one is about student debt. And this is the fun thing that I was finding out about this. Apparently, FAFSA, or just the student aid organization, they give out a student debt forgiveness, loan forgiveness, for people who are teachers. I think it would start at 5 years. So when you are at 5 years, you may receive up to $17,500 in loan forgiveness if, as certified by the chief administrative officer of the school where you were employed, you were a highly qualified full-time mathematics or science teacher in an eligible secondary school, and then yada, yada, yada for anything else that was a secondary or tertiary example for the rule. And this was found on studentaid.ed.gov. And I was actually surprised when I saw this. I assume that you would know about this since you're a teacher over at COD. But I was just surprised that even teaching for 5 years or anything else amongst those matters is that you actually get to have money given to you so that way you can pay off your student debt. That's kind of interesting to me, which also would help me out since being in a family that has the support for boys going to college, it would really make a difference. Hit the spacebar again. We are on to teacher benefits, and this is the one thing that I would really be happy about if this was my career, is that there are ones that teachers would always brag about over at Naperville Central, which is my alma mater, is that they would get sick days. So I think over at Naperville Central they had, 2 full weeks of sick days within a given year. So they have that many. They have their vacation days, and they also have a paid leave, which already hearing that for a teacher, that sounds pretty rockin'. I'm pretty happy with that. That's stoked. And along with that, the average salary for high school teachers in Illinois is about $67,110. And it's also 3rd in the nation. And that seems really high for me. So that would also be pretty cool to be able to earn that much money over time. Hit the spacebar again, and we are on to why. And then there's really just one reason as to why I want to have this be my career. I want to inspire students. I want their success to be greater than mine. And it's really just my biology teacher that helped inspire me as to why I'd want to be a biology teacher, along with my social studies teacher. But I'll do them separately. So for my biology teacher, he was really into music. He reminds me of me, where he seems eccentric, he's energetic, he really likes putting everything into anything just to make everything fun for the students and to make sure that they're understanding whatever material he's teaching. And that's really fun. He He knew how to bring humor into the classroom. He knew how to make everyone happy, and I enjoyed that. As for my social studies teacher, the reason that he really made me want to be a teacher is because he could relate to the students. He was maybe 15 years older than the students on average, at least when I went there. And he was on Twitter frequently, so he knew the slang that was going on, today's references. But he also knew how to give kids a lot of their, he knew how to make them feel a lot better. He knew how to make them have courage in themselves, how to, I'm sorry about this. The words are just not coming to my head right now. But it's the fact how these teachers are able to make the students happy and to get them into the right direction that would succeed for them, rather than what a teacher would want to see all the students go for. They want to see that specific student go for the goal that they are aiming for. And that's why I want to make an impact too. So hit the space bar again, and then hit it again. If you want to, you can read my whole entire works cited. That's clickable right there. I'm positive I shared it with you, so that's completely fine. And then hit it one more time. Okay, hit it a third. Okay, JK. That actually ends the whole entire presentation. So I really hope that you enjoyed it. Hopefully you got some chuckles out of the photos that I had. If not, I completely understand. They're just photos after all, and they do guide someone's impact on a presentation. But this is also a English presentation that you're most likely going to be viewing millions of these over the what am I talking about? You're just going to be viewing like 30 of these. Sorry about that, Eric. Good luck, though, with all the other presentations or essays that you have to read over. I believe in you.